On the 7th of October, Frontier held the Frontier Expo 2017. It took place at Olympic Park in London, with guest speakers, demo stations and a streaming booth, and I was invited as a VIP by Frontier. Only one small hurdle for me to take: I'm currently studying in Japan. Anyway, of course I had to go, obviously, since this video exists, even if it's a bit more than a month after the actual event happened. And because it was a rare opportunity to meet a ton of online friends, some even for the first time, like Fluxtrance, Strictoaster and Geekism, as well as of course being an amazing way to finally talk to the developers again and try to convince them of adding certain rides into the game maybe. And besides, Frontier paid for most of the costs. So with a bunch of overdue homework, I embarked on a ridiculous jet-lag fueled journey for a weekend in London. And now, because I didn't dare to vlog much and forgot to record videos much of the time, here's a bit of a different retelling of some of the experiences and my opinions instead, with the benefit of hindsight, and I hope this will also give a whole new perspective on the event compared to videos by others which have already been out for quite some time now, and maybe even a bit of my perspective on Planet Coaster and the community in general. Alright, so if I can just avoid breaking my camera for a little bit, I arrived in London just last evening and went to bed pretty quickly after just completely crashing. My jet lag is actually a lot worse than I expected. I've only slept for 4 hours, so I'm very tired, so I'm very sorry if at any point during this I fall asleep or anything like that. But today will hopefully still be a pretty good day. There's not too much going on, but at the end of today, after I do a bit of a visit to the city, try and buy some fudge, because there is some European stuff that I really want to buy over here that you can't get anywhere in Japan. So that's high on my to-do list. But after that, at 5, I should be having a tour through the Expo grounds, and that is really what this video is mainly going to be about. Not necessarily that single tour, but mostly the behind-the-scenes sort of stuff, the atmosphere that you get in general at the Expo. The sort of information that you can't get through any of the other available information channels that there will undoubtedly be many of about the Expo, where you can find all the exclusive information about Planet Coaster, Jurassic World and that stuff. Of course, it's very important as well, but this video will mostly focus on other stuff and try to give a bit of a picture of what the Expo is like for the people who cannot visit the Expo because they're far away or any other reason, or for the people who have visited the Expo but want to see it from a slightly different perspective. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the time lapse. Now the first day wasn't very exciting, at least not for me. I just went shopping together with Expo because most of the people hadn't really arrived yet. I had an extra day as a bit of a buffer since I was coming over from Tokyo. And it was actually pretty fun though. We went to the center of the city, I bought some fudge and got some posters, and we met up with Fluxtrance and showed him around the city for a bit before we went off to the venue for a quick tour of the Expo grounds. Now the tour itself wasn't actually that much, but it was actually really amazing to see all of the halls being completely empty before they would be so crowded the next day. The tour basically showed off the main parts of the venue, and especially the main hall for me, with the main stage and the demo stations, looked amazing at this time, since the scale really, it was very impressive to see with nobody in it so far. Plus the Jurassic World corner had a spectacular life-size raptor and some nice quality rockwork and foliage to boot, so that was pretty cool. Then we went back to the hotel for dinner, and honestly, I just crashed after that. Now on Saturday, it was time for the Expo itself, since it's basically just a one-day Expo, and I don't have a lot of footage of this, so I recommend watching some other vlogs that I'll link in the description to get an idea of what it was like in terms of atmosphere. But basically I had a pretty varied schedule. In the morning, I would start with the Koali podcast with DeLady and Rudi as hosts, which went kind of like this. So we are currently trying to prepare for one of the worst prepared podcasts that I've ever seen. Possibly, there are quite a few podcast booths around the area here, and we are currently trying to set up our Koali Beach podcast. Over here we have Expo all the way at the back, then DeLadysigner, and Rudi, who is currently trying to test all the mics. We have Des Valdez, who is our saving grace today, coming.
The guy with the gear.
The guy with the gear, bringing back all the microphones. And in the back there with the curly hair is Fluxtrance as well, with right around the corner, Strictoaster. So a lot of awesome Planet Coaster people in one group over here. Now over here we also have the official Koali Beach park map as well, which is something that you can check out when you're at the booth, and you can get one of the park maps and see what's in the park. And this was actually all done, designed and printed by Rudi, and really one of my favorite things that has come out of Koali Beach in general. Really cool to see your own park in a real physical map that really makes it feel a lot more real than it actually is. In hindsight though, the podcast actually went very smoothly. It turned out to be pretty lengthy, and we had a bunch of amazing devs on, including Fern, Nick, Matthew and John. I hope it's okay if I call everybody by their first name. So we're really happy that we had so many special guests that managed to make it. A bunch of awesome community members also cheered us on as the audience, so a huge thanks to them as well. To be honest though, I'm just glad we managed to get anything done at all. After this, I promised that I would hang out in some people's streams, so I stalked Rudi, DeLady and Geekism for a bit. I think I even distracted Geekism so much that he didn't manage to build a thing as simple as an in-game hamburger, so if you see this, I'm sorry about that. And after that, I checked out some of the talks at the event, which were quite interesting. So of course, I managed to make my way to the Thrill Engineers talk, and I was having quite a bit of a nerdgasm to see a speech about roller coasters live on stage. And I checked out Johnny Watt's talk about Frontier, which we talked about a bit the day before. And finally, I went to the talk by Spoiler Sam, where he talked about, you know, many spoilers.
It's the oldest standing roller coaster in the world, over 100 years old. I can spoil something.
No worries though, he didn't actually spoil anything that you, by now, don't know. Although I do have to say, maybe he did spoil some things when I had a private discussion with him later on, but that's territory which I definitely can't talk about. Now the rest of the day was just some more scheduled stuff, like doing the quick sofa chats for the event's livestream, and hilariously failing to do a coherent livestream on my own with lots of eating and walking around, and finally watching the announcements in between. See, I want to film each moment that, the exact moment that it goes to Jurassic World instead of starting soon.
Yeah. That's it. Okay.
This was also when the curious case of picnic benches happened. I'm not sure how much of a picture there is of this so far, but as soon as the picnic benches were visible on the screen, as everybody was in the green room watching the live stage and the announcement of Planet Coaster, the whole bunch of Planet Coaster players in the green room just started screaming like a crowd in a rap battle. It was absolutely ridiculous. And after the update was revealed, people who visited the expo were honestly noticeably more positive about it than people who only watched the live streams. Now I guess this is in part due to the Twitch chat being as toxic as ever, but I think the hype of the crowd gets to you. And honestly, there was also a lot of great interactions between players and developers on the expo. And with the devs essentially walking around without any form of schedule, they were pretty much free to talk with the community all day, which I think was an eye-opener for both sides. I would love to see more of this kind of communication. Now my final hours in London the next day were actually some of my favorite ones. This is where I managed to get like an hour and a half talk with Sam Denny, just standing outside the hotel, and he did live up to his name in the act of spoiling a few upcoming features which I can't talk about. But what I can say is that I was really happy to be able to talk to him about the greatness of Schwarzkopf looping coasters, Intamin Blitzers, Mac and new gen Vekomas. I'm not sure what effect it will have. He told me that their resources are limited and the coasters so far have often taken months to make, but at least he took note of the ones I mentioned, and we actually had a lot of interesting, just funny coaster nerding conversations anyway. And finally, it was time to say goodbye to all the amazing people which I unfortunately meet just about twice a year, and head back to Japan to quickly edit this video, where it quickly turned into taking about a month to write the script and everything. Anyway, there you have it. It may not be as vloggy as most other people can manage to make their videos, but at least I hope you enjoyed hearing my perspective on the event. If you do want to see a little bit more of my face, as well as someone actually talking into a camera, I can definitely recommend watching DeLadysigner's video. Her video is much better than mine and should give you a decent idea of the atmosphere during the event. And honestly, if you can't get enough of it, also check out the vlogs of Geekism, Fluxtrance and Strictoaster. They're all really great and give a good compilation of the many moments that happened throughout the event. And if you want to see the hotel that we stayed at, Conflictnerd actually has a really cool sort of look into it that, especially me looking backward, was really cool to see. And finally, I want to give a huge thank you to Frontier, who not only made this event possible but also allowed me to actually attend it. Seriously, they did so much for everybody. It was incredible. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you perhaps in the next vlog. Peace. Alright, now at the end of this video I want to take a very quick off-script moment to talk about my evident hiatus from Planet Coaster that I'm sort of in right now. Even though I've uploaded a few videos in the past 2 months, none of them were actually made while I'm in Japan. I haven't been able to even make and finish a video here. So, first, I'd like to say I'm sorry about that. I tried to prepare as much as I could for this, but honestly, I don't really have enough to show you guys at the moment. I'm just really sort of taking a break from Planet Coaster. I haven't really played it in the last 2 months. Partly that's because of me being in Tokyo, trying to get adjusted here, and honestly also just taking some of the free time that I do have between my way too busy studying schedule. I'm trying to put that time into exploring the city and the surroundings as much as I can, and then some of the other free time I'm also putting into Parkitects, which I'm getting into again. There's not much more that I'll say about that. Maybe you'll see some stuff pop up in the future, but I've been busy with that quite a bit. And to tell you the truth as well, I'm also sort of waiting for the anniversary updates. I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially the new Freedom with roller coasters and the new Intamin Strata coaster, I guess you could call it, even though probably people are going to use it much more flexibly like that. Stuff like that is what I'm really looking forward to, so hopefully I'll be kicking back into gear with Planet Coaster at some point. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know, right now I'm in Japan and I'm studying, for those who don't know yet actually. Maybe I should have started with that. Right now I'm in Japan and I'm here studying with an exchange program, so at some point I'll be back in the Netherlands, hopefully have some more free time again, but for now I'm taking a little bit of a break of Planet Coaster, but hopefully that break will also end pretty soon. Anyway, that's my life issues. Oh no, wait, one more thing. Maybe I'll be doing some vlogs of theme parks in Japan. I still have yet to sort of test the waters in terms of how much people actually want to see this and how good I would actually be at doing it. But it's all of the theme parks around here are high on my bucket list, and very, very few of them are actually well covered on the internet, so I want to pick that up a little bit. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this and hope you guys are happy to get a bit of an update. I'm sorry for my lack of uploads recently. We'll try to do something about it. Anyway, see you guys.